Alright, today we are going to be going over a couple different ways we've seen John Frusciante using the MXR Dyna Comp during the Unlimited Love tours here. On your screen right now, we have just a wicked shot of John's pedal board. This is the best shot of John's pedal board we've ever gotten in the almost 2 years. They've been 2 years? I think they've been touring over 2 years now. In the 2 years they've been touring, we've never gotten a better shot than this one here you're seeing on your screen right now. And the Dyna Comp, taking a look at it, the settings, if you guys want to try and just give them a try, because I know, especially for John Frusciante fans, kind of a big thing is to have like a Marshall Silver Jubilee, or I have a 2203 JMP here, same model John's using now, but just different Marshalls, so you can like do a pretty good job of approximating his sound with a lot of this gear actually. And the Dyna Comp here is the settings for you. This is just a standard Dyna Comp that you can go out to any Guitar Center, local guitar shop and buy. It's not a vintage one, nothing like that. It's a new one. MXR and Dunlop, for that matter, had actually sent John a lot of pedals kind of early on in his rejoining of the band with the Red Hot Chili Peppers. So these are all just kind of your standard pedals you can go out and buy for the most part in terms of the pedals you're seeing on the board. But the Dyna Comp, that one there, you can kind of see the two settings on there set decently aggressive in terms of settings on the board. So keep that in mind, that that's kind of the ballpark that John's been using as far as we can kind of know without having a ton of shots of his board throughout the entire time they've really been touring. But somewhere around there, it's pretty safe to say is where John's probably kept his Dyna Comp. Okay, so there are two things that I want you to keep in mind as we get into our first example here. Number one, because these shows are all in giant stadiums, there aren't really any seats to the side of the stage. So just getting this kind of footage in general is extremely difficult. So if you ever do find any shots of John stepping on pedals where you can see it very clearly, or if you ever happen to be in a position where you can see a lot more of his board and what he's doing, please send it my way. Second of all, a lot of what we're talking about here as well, I've never really seen it repeated that much. That makes sense. What I really think John's been doing since he rejoined the Chili Peppers and has been touring for quite a long time now, he's just experimenting with his gear and changing things up, and maybe one night he's feeling like adding, in our case, the Dyna Comp on for something, another night he might not throw it on. So these are all just examples of ways he's at least been experimenting. We've seen him experiment with this pedal. So our very first example was actually not that long ago. It was Tokyo Dome's Night 2 performance on May 20th, 2024, and it's for the Californication solo. So song keeps going as normal. I went back and just watched to make sure the Dyna Comp wasn't on at the beginning or anything like that. And John, you'll see as the solo kicks in, he steps on the Dyna Comp, and because of where it's placed, these kind of front row seats, we can at least see him stepping on things for the front row. And when he steps on it, there's a noticeable volume jump. You can hear just when it clicks on, you can hear that in the clip, and then he, does his solo, and then he'll turn it off. And what I think he's doing here is mainly just relying on it for a bit of a boost, obviously, but really just that sustain that it's going to give his notes for the solo. I think the Dyna Comp is something that would work really well for the Californication solo, in all honesty. The way, especially he's kind of got it set up there, just a lot more sustain, and it just sounds really good as you're about to hear. Okay, so we're going to move on to our second example here, and actually the next two examples are from the same show. So this is from Sydney, February 4th of 2023. Now, Soul to Squeeze is playing, and as John goes into the solo again for Soul to Squeeze, kind of like Californication, you see him go up and step on the MXR Dyna Comp. He leaves it on kind of for that bridge breakdown section before Anthony starts singing again, and then you go and see him turn it off. I went back and watch the entire beginning of the footage from this concert, from the Soul to Squeeze performance from this concert, and he never went and turned it on. So it was off for the start of Soul to Squeeze, so he's definitely turning it on and then off in the clip you're about to see. And our next example, as I mentioned, is from the same performance, and it's right as Soul to Squeeze is actually ending. We have to kind of revisit this whole saga. So what you'll see John do is as Soul to Squeeze ends, he goes up to his pedal board again and turns on the MXR Dyna Comp. Now, he doesn't need to turn off the C one, nothing like that. That's going to stay on the entire time for this performance as they launch into Give It Away. But what's really cool here is that I went back, kind of rewatched the whole footage. So essentially it's Soul to Squeeze starts, solo for Soul to Squeeze starts, and then John turns on the MXR Dyna Comp. He turns it off after once Anthony starts singing, and then he starts playing the kind of the verse parts again. And then as Soul to Squeeze ends, the MXR Dyna Comp turns on and then will stay on for the entire performance of Give It Away in this specific case. Of course, as it's the end of the night, John doesn't go and turn off all of the pedals at the end of the show. He just turns off his distortion pedals when he's done playing and the song ends and they say goodbye to the crowd. But the Dyna Comp was on for all of Give It Away, and I've really tried to find more footage of Give It Away actually in particular to see if John's been using the Dyna Comp more. And unfortunately, there just isn't a lot of great footage even from front row where they're watching John at the right time, or even to get that footage where it's maybe in between songs when he's adjusting his pedals. It's really hard to get that kind of footage, but here's a bit of a snippet of Give It Away and where you can see John actually stepping on the Dyna Comp before they launch into the song. And there you guys go. Hopefully those 3 examples there at least help you have a greater understanding of why the Dyna Comp is on John's board and kind of some of the context that he's at least experimenting with it. And the way things go, getting footage like this is just very, very hard. So that's just why this video took so long to actually create for you guys. I literally saw the footage of John stepping on the Dyna Comp before for the Sydney performances, and I was kind of like, well, that's not really going to make the best video if I only have 2 examples. So at least getting this third one, I thought, all right, I'll make this video now and discuss it now. But if you guys ever see anything like that, any footage like that, please send it over my way or let me know in the comments down below that, you know, all right, I've seen something that looks like John stepping on something in this footage here, go take a look, because I really appreciate you guys help me out like that. And I'm sure as well, John's been experimenting with the Dyna Comp in a bunch of different ways. It's on his pedal board. It's been on his pedal board for, you know, forever now. I really think that he's just maybe in the moment for different songs deciding maybe I'll try the Dyna Comp for this, and then maybe he likes it, maybe he doesn't, and then he just moves on and keeps performing as normal. I'm sure there's lots of other instances when he's obviously used the Dyna Comp. These are just the 3 that I've found, at least, that I can share with you guys as of this point. So I hope you guys found this video helpful. If there are any other ones you want me to try and tackle, please let me know in the comments down below. I've done videos already on the SD1 and the MXR Micro Amp as well. I made their older videos now at least, but I've made videos discussing on how John uses those 2 pedals. If you haven't checked those out, I'll have them carded or in the description down below for you guys. But anyways, until the next video, you guys, take care. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.